All right, looks like we are live. Hey! And gotta fire up the Facebook. Make sure everything's good there. Put that away. We are on time today. It's amazing. First time for everything. All right, so gotta find the We Are Live video and turn this down so you guys don't get crazy feedback. And there we are. All right, so good morning if you're just joining us. Today we are doing our 11 a.m. Saturday walking tour. Now, a few things. I got to go ahead and play some audio for you here. And this is going to be a little weird because I wasn't able to get my iPad this morning that has all the videos on it or audio on it. So I'm going to be flipping back and forth. I will be missing questions, so just kind of a heads up there. So let's go see some cats.
Thank you so much for visiting me and my friends. Your tour fees, gift shop purchases, and donations make sure we receive the very best food and medical care. When you go to places that make a business out of displaying animals, they often put the animals where they must be seen. Much of the pacing you see there is caused by stress from not being able to hide. Big Cat Rescue is a retirement home for these cats. Every enclosure is built in a way that it is up to the cat if they are seen at a given time. Today you will see some cats, and on another visit you may see others. You may have been given a receiver and an earbud. As you approach a cat's enclosure, the guide will play that cat's story for you. This ensures that you receive accurate information. You can download these stories from our free app in iTunes or Google Play. If you have a question during the tour, please raise your hand. The guide will either try to answer your question or indicate it will be addressed further. The tour. You can also ask your guide questions privately at the end of the tour. At the back of your tour is a volunteer who is known as the backup. Backup, please raise your hand and say, "That's me."
That's me as well.
If you have trouble hearing, please let the backup know.
Yep, just type it in the chat.
The tour path is uneven, so for your safety, please do not text during the tour. To be considerate to the others in your group, please do not talk during the tour or take phone calls. When the guide asks you to come this way, please move when the guide asks. If the group gets strung out and the guide has to wait for you to catch up, everyone will see fewer cats in the time you have. There are 3 very important safety rules. Around each enclosure, there is a barricade made of cage wire. The first rule is not to touch the barricade.
No touching.
It has sharp points, and we do not want you to get cut. The second rule is not to lean over the barricade. Many of the cats can reach quite far through the 4x4 wire. You are welcome to take photos as long as you keep up with the group, but it is easy to forget and start doing the manual zoom. Finally, on hot days, we actually do have visitors who pass out. This is not good for the visitor and very disruptive for the tour.
So drink water.
Please do not be a hero. If you feel the least bit faint or uncomfortable, please advise the tour guide or backup, and we will bring out a golf cart. The job of the backup is to keep you safe. So if you forget the rules, the backup will remind you. Thank you so much again for visiting and supporting us. Now let's go see the cats. Hey, we are doing our
Whoa, hey. Sorry if you got any feedback there. All right, so good morning, everybody. All right, so as I mentioned just a minute ago, I will be missing comments along the way. The reason is I don't have my standard iPad with me. Now, it looks like we see a Beecher over here. Beecher! Hey, man, you want to come out and say hi? Maybe. Maybe. Beecher. Now, Beecher is relaxing in the shadows over there, and good for him. It is a beautiful day today. I'm going to put my computer in my bag, so sorry for kind of the floppy video we're going to get here for just a second. But if you could all very quickly just type on in there if you can see the video okay and if you can hear me all right. And then once I hear from you that everything's good, I'm going to start to walk here and we'll see who we can find. Okay, so Marianne says great, good. Good. Perfect. All right, so here we go. Let's see who we can see. So today I decided it'd be a good idea to try a chest mount out. So no helmet cam today. Something about no longer having hair. Yes, if you watch the 12:15 YouTube, well, I'm sure Bridget will point out that Andy shaved his head. But aside from that, I hope you guys are all doing great out there. All good, everything's working good. Good, awesome. All right, so let's see. Today, our fundraiser is our general fundraiser, so all the money goes directly to the cats. Right, so this takes care of food, takes care of medical expenses, takes care of just the general things that we need, takes care of enrichment, takes care of building platforms. And for any of you that are fairly new to us, one of the things that you might not know is, well, we're a retirement home for these cats. We don't just put them out on display. So crucially important that you know that, because we do not use our cats for entertainment purposes. And I say that as I'm going live, but we don't go ahead and take them around in crates and show them off. And I think there's a Simba tiger way in the back, and I can't zoom on in. Looking good, sounding great. All right, good. My video is actually a little laggy today, but we'll deal with that as we do. All right. Let's see who we see. We have tons of volunteers here today. This is kind of a cool thing for a Saturday. Hey, a Simba tiger. Find Simba's video or audio here for you. Now, as I'm playing the audio, I can't see your questions. So just kind of a heads up there. Usually I'll pause it to answer one here and there, but I am playing the audio off of my phone, which doesn't give me the ability to switch on over and listen to your comments. So here we go.
Simba the tiger was rescued from the circus in Guatemala. We believe he was born in 2010.
Okay.
He came to us with two other male tigers, Max and Kimba. At the circus, these tigers were fed chicken feet as their primary diet. This does not give them the nutrition they need. Many circus tigers are very closely related due to inbreeding, and they often suffer spinal deformities from the lack of nutrition, inadequate ability to move around, being forced into unnatural poses for circus acts, and being so inbred. These three tigers all have arches in their spines that we do not see in our other cats. In the circus, the full-time living space for these circus tigers was only about the size of a queen-size bed. Because it is such a cruel life, 27 countries ban circus acts that use wild cats. In the U.S., there are 7 states and 149 other localities in 39 states that have passed various restrictions or bans involving the use of wild animals in circuses. The circus was banned by law in Guatemala thanks to efforts made by Animal Defenders International. Hermanos Ponce Circus resisted turning over the animals, but ADI eventually managed to get them to relinquish their tigers. ADI cared for the tigers in a temporary facility while Big Cat Rescue worked to obtain the import permit needed to bring 3 of them, Simba, Max, and Kimba, to their permanent home here. They finally arrived on November 25th, 2019. Of the 3 tigers, when they arrived at Big Cat Rescue, Simba proved to be the extrovert in the group. When the door of his travel crate was opened, he exited enthusiastically and headed right for one of our large cylindrical toys and started playing with it.
All right, seeing if anybody has any questions here. Good morning, good morning. Thank you for jumping in and joining us. All right, looks like that donation button is ready. So if any of you do have a couple extra bucks kicking around and you would like to donate to the cats, and cats like Simba here, you can click the donate button, or you can hop on our webpage and simply sponsor a cat, all right? And you'll see that, for example, you know, we have sponsors for Simba here to help him along his journey. So let me roll along the next cat here, and I'm gonna look through the comments, make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, so between cats, if you do have any questions, feel free, fire away. If you don't and you just want to watch, feel free, just watch. I'm pretty good at responding to questions. I will miss questions, so just kind of heads up there. And let's see, who else we got here? It's like we have a Kimba tiger walking around. And Kimba's currently locked out because, or of one section, because we do have somebody helping out. And another Dawn, thank you very much for your donation. And I do apologize on this one. Facebook does not have like a big bulletin like YouTube when somebody donates. So I'm not going to be able to go ahead and say, hey, thank you every single time. So I'm not going to stand around and really watch Kimba for too long, but here's Kimba. So for any of you that are fans of ours, Kimba has a few people he likes and some people he doesn't like. So I don't like to stand around long. So if you notice he's kind of on the prowl here, its reason is because somebody's over there cleaning his slab and he's not allowed to go over there. So, and that's for our own safety. But as you heard with Simba's audio, these things are gigantic. The tigers and the cats, but also the enclosures. Our enclosures here have quite a wild range of space, and I'm hoping, Deb, if you can, or anybody on your team, just please go ahead, post the link to our enclosures, because they are really big. Actually, most people don't have houses this big for these guys. So, and there he goes. All right. So I think today we're gonna do big cats first, since I'm over here already, and it looks like Jazzy Girl is already out. They are beautiful cats. Now, hello. I see you. Yeah, you never get excited when I'm around. Are you excited because usually Bridget's around with me? Yeah? Good morning, Mary Jerome. And let me play some audio for Jazzy Girl. I just need to learn my alphabet first. There's your audio.
Jasmine is a female tiger whose age is unknown. She arrived at Big Cat Rescue in August 2015 after being confiscated by the Ohio Department of Agriculture along with 9 other big cats from an owner who failed for years to comply with a very basic 2012 Ohio Dangerous Animals law that just required decent caging and registering the animals. Big Cat Rescue volunteered to provide a permanent home for Jasmine, and 3 of the other big cats and other sanctuaries took in the remaining 6 cats. Jasmine is a happy tiger known for making unique sounds which make her keepers laugh. Like all tigers, Jasmine loves the water. She really enjoys being showered with a hose during hot afternoons at the sanctuary, and she is a star at operant conditioning.
All right, so there is our story about Jazzy Girl. So Jazzy Girl is a cutie. Now, as far as Jasmine goes, if you do follow us along at 12:15, you will see Bridget and Jasmine. Bridget and Jasmine have an incredible relationship, and it looks like you've been watered. Look at all that water on your back. Oh, cute stuff. All right, Doris, thank you very much for the donation. Your donations, by the way, do go and help assist these cats on their journey here with us. This is their permanent home. They don't go anywhere from here. We don't buy, breed, touch, sell, trade any of our cats. We are certified by the Global Federation of Animal Sanctuaries because of that. And we're kind of the staple when it comes to how to take care of these guys in the world. So this here is Kimba.
Kimba is a male tiger who was rescued from the circus in Guatemala, along with 2 other tigers, Max and Simba. Kimba is the youngest, born sometime in 2017. They came to us after Guatemala passed a law banning the circus. Animal Defenders International was a major force behind passing that law. The tigers were supposed to have been turned over to authorities. Instead, Hermanos Ponce Circus went on the run. In June 2018, Animal Defenders International and authorities had found the circus and implemented the rescue mission. Because tigers are an endangered species, we needed an import permit from the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to bring them here. We applied for a permit in August 2018. It took 11 months to obtain the import permit and 3 more months to obtain an export permit from Guatemalan authorities.
This is the wrong story.
In November 2019.
Here's Kali's story. I don't want to confuse anybody, but that was Kimba's story. So here's Kali's story.
Kali the tiger was born in a travel trailer in the year 2000, the day after her mother and a transport full of tigers, leopards, cougars, bears, and wolves were dropped off at the Augusta Conservation Education, a small sanctuary in Georgia. The founder of the organization rescued over 300 animals in the 20 years that he ran the facility, but in 2014, with his life complicated by a bitter divorce, he could no longer continue and began placing the remaining animals elsewhere. Most of the animals at Big Cat Rescue were mistreated before coming here. Kali was much luckier. She was well cared for. Most cats that arrive here quickly show signs that they're happy to be here, glad they are no longer being mistreated. Kali was different. When Kali first arrived, she was depressed. She would spend the entire day sulking atop her platform. At dinner time, she would come down to eat, but would then immediately go right back up to her perch. Perhaps she missed her former owner and former home. But a few weeks after her arrival, Kali made a complete turnaround. Now she bounces up to the keepers, chuffing all the way, plays with her toys and enrichment, and loves lounging in the tall, soft grass. Thankfully for Kali, she will never have to worry about being moved from her home again. Big Cat Rescue will provide her with a stable and loving home for the rest of her life.
Trade any of our cats. We are certified by Nicole.
Okay. Get the speed here and see how we're all doing. All right, so sorry about that. Again, I guess I need to learn my alphabet. So there's the story of Kali. Yeah, beautiful cat. Yeah, Kali's story is a little different from most of the others here, just because she had a, decent life before coming to us. All right. Now, for those of you that don't really follow us very commonly, because I see that we have had 200 people jump up as soon as I turned on Jasmine, here is a big section of Jasmine's enclosure. Right, so she has an open air section, meaning that she doesn't have a roof on it, and she can see right up to the sky and be blown away by how many of these cats, when they come to us, have never actually seen a blue sky. But Jasmine is all the way down there, right? So she has a big section there, and then she can come through this area, and then she gets this gigantic section over here with all of this grass and pool and a stand in there, and she can have an absolute awesome time. Okay. How is Stony? Daniel, I'm going to come up on Stony here in just a second. Stony is still not painted, so if you've been following the Chronicles of Stony, which, maybe I should just create a blog. Like every other day, I'll post the Chronicles of Stony. Stony's observations, Stony's made-up life. But we're going to come up to Stony in just a second here. And what else do we have going on? See if we can find Sapphire. Now this is Sapphire's enclosure. Sapphire's enclosure is again gigantic. I think a little bigger than Jasmine's. So what is that? Kimba may be on vacation. And look at you. And here is Sapphire. Now if you can't see Sapphire, Sapphire is the big white tiger that is underneath the bench there. All right, so again, I'm not going to see comments, so I'm switching on over and play you some audio on Sapphire. Maybe. I really need 2 devices for this.
There is a female white tiger who was born approximately 2010. She arrived at Big Cat Rescue in August 2015. Her owner had received many federal law violations for improper care of the cats without consequence. But when he failed for years to comply with a very basic 2012 Ohio law that just required decent caging and registering the animals, the Ohio Department of Agriculture seized the cats and sent Sapphire and 3 other cats to us so that they would receive proper care for the rest of their lives. When you hear people say they are breeding white tigers to preserve the species, that is a lie. There is no species of white tiger. The white coat is actually a genetic defect that often carries with it other defects like poor vision. In addition, white tigers in this country all descend from one white tiger brought to this country in 1960 and are horribly inbred, resulting in more genetic flaws. Sapphire is no exception. She is severely cross-eyed, a very common defect. This causes her to sometimes attack her own back legs, likely thinking another tiger is behind her.
Crazy stuff. So a lot of people tend to think that, well, it's a snow tiger. No, it's not. There is no such thing as a snow tiger. There's actually, I guess, by nature, there's no such thing as a white tiger. White tigers are man-made. And one of the things that a lot of people don't really think about when they see a white tiger, they just go, ooh, beautiful. And Sapphire is incredibly a beautiful cat. But thing is that many breeders, in order to get to a white tiger, breed 2 cats, and those cats have many orange cats along the way. And so it's not a spot-on guarantee that you're just simply going to have that white tiger. And all right, so I guess moral of the story there is people tend to not think about the consequences and what happens to all those little tigers, orange ones, along the way. All right, so here is Stony, for any of you that don't know who Stony is. Stony is a stone cat who is the hit of our tours sometimes when we have our tours because he just scares people. People tend to think that there's a cat, oh my God. We've never had a cat get out. So, but Stony's our stone cat. And Stony, I keep saying I'm gonna paint him someday. All right, and moving along. So over here we can still see, you know, there's, oh, looks like Sapphire's getting up. What you got? Oh, okay. All right. Let's see if we can see her walking. I think she's just adjusting to a more shaded area. All right, and if you're just joining us, our fundraiser for today is our general fundraiser. Now, usually we have a fundraiser that's directed at a particular project that we're working on, and you've all been incredibly awesome at funding some of those projects, like the medical supplies and restocking those, and helping out the volunteers, things like that. Well, today our general fundraiser goes to helping these guys out, buying food, supplies for enrichment. Our general fundraiser also goes ahead and helps us buy gas to mow the lawns because we don't want these things overgrown. And I'm just walking back to see if Sapphire is here. So if you do have a couple extra bucks kicking around, just click that donate button, and that will go ahead and allow you to just donate right through Facebook. And 100% of the money that you donate through here goes directly to the cats. We run on volunteers here. We only have a few paid employees, and we do that through websites for merch and things like that. And that keeps them going. All right, now let's keep moving along here. So whatever you donate directly to a particular cat or Big Cat Rescue goes directly to the cat. All right, so I know a lot of you tend to like the scenery around here, and that's why I'm using this camera, because you can see everything. So let's see if we can actually take a look at the water. All right, if any of you have any questions, I have comments rolling here. Feel free to go ahead, fire away. it is a beautiful day. It's in the low 80s today. For us, that's wake up, open your garage in the morning, and turn on the heat in your car. I know I had the heated seats on this morning, and that was nice. Hello, Missy. So I'm gonna go down here by Amanda, but as I'm going on down there, I'm gonna play the audio on cub petting. This is something that many people don't really realize, and I wish more people did. Amanda was part of, a cub petting operation, and so it's good for everybody to really understand what goes into this whole, pet cats sort of thing.
There are estimated to be between 5,000 and 10,000 tigers in the United States, most of them living in deplorable conditions. This is an estimate because there's no tracking of who owns them or where they are. Some are in backyards, others are used to exhibit to make money. The major cause of this large number of tigers in private hands is breeding tiger cubs to use them to make money by
All right, so I do see Amanda down here. If she gives me a weird look, I'm turning around and I'm going away. But if she doesn't, I'll stand there and keep the camera going, so any of you that are Amanda lovers will actually be able to see her.
Urging the public to pet them, take photos with them, or swim with them. Because the cubs can only be handled for a few months before they become too big, the exhibitors need a steady supply of new cubs and are constantly breeding. The cubs are of course adorable, and the exhibitors lie and tell people that this is somehow helping conservation. What the people petting the cubs do not realize is that they are contributing to a lifetime of misery for these animals.
Hi.
Cubs used for these photo ops and petting are ripped from their mothers at birth, which is a torment to any mammal, mother, and infant.
I see you getting down low. I'm just going to walk by.
The breeders do this. First, they want the cubs to imprint or bond to a person, not to the mother tiger. If the cubs stay with their mothers for even a few weeks, they are wilder and much more difficult to handle. Second, think about what little domestic kittens do when they are awake. They are in constant motion, testing their limbs and claws and teeth. Tiger cubs are the same. That is their natural instinct. They don't want to sit still for photos. The exhibitors spend those early weeks physically punishing the cubs when they do what comes naturally in order to make the cubs more manageable for handling. Then, when the cubs are too big to pet, there is no tracking of whether they live or where they end up. All we know is that there are thousands living in deplorable conditions. You can help by not patronizing these cub-touching exhibits and educating others about the misery this shameful exploitation causes.
Okay, so I'm just catching up on comments here, and I hope those of you that can see Amanda can see Amanda. And okay. Hi. I'm moving along. Don't worry. I know you're giving me that look like, dude, I don't really know you. Go away. All right. So Amanda has particular people that she tolerates. She does enjoy singing. I sound hyper. I've only actually had 1 cup of coffee today. It might just be the New York coming out in me and blasting off words. All right, so I did see Aria on the way here. So let's go ahead and see what Aria is up to. Yes, she sees me. And I'm getting out of there. So I guess the backstory behind Amanda is that she was part of the cub petting operation and has been somewhat psychologically, I guess, damaged because of it. She doesn't like people at all, which is just fine, just fine. Perfectly good for I mean, perfectly good. She can not like us. We'll still take care of her and love her. But a lot of people just tend to not think about that sort of thing. So here is the beautiful Aria. All right, Aria is a sweetheart. So let me pull up some audio for Aria. Now she is sleeping, and she just moved her head like, what is going on? Why is there talking? It is a gorgeous day. I just want to sleep. And actually, I don't have any audio for Aria yet. No, I don't see any in here. So that is what it is. Nothing we can do about it. But she is sleeping in her den. And let's see who else we can see along the way. Now, this is our big vacation rotation here. The cats get a few weeks at a time out here. We cycle them on through a nice rotation. And as we go along, I'm going to play some vacation rotation audio. Actually, yeah, for you guys. Yep, squirrels are out and about.
In the wild, big cats would roam hundreds of miles. They are intelligent, active creatures who prefer to hunt at dusk and dawn, but who can see very well at night. They spend their days sleeping and getting ready for the darker hours when they reign supreme over all their domain. Unfortunately, most captive situations provide far too small a space for these big cats. And even worse, they are usually locked into tiny, concrete, windowless cells called night houses during the time of day when they would most like to be out roaming. The reason they're locked up at night is because zoos aren't open at night, and they want the cats to be active when paying guests are there. In most cases, there will be one large enclosure that the public sees, and then tiny jail cells where the cats spend days at a time, so that if it's their only day to be outside, they'll be active for the paying public. At Big Cat Rescue, the cats have far more space per cat than most other facilities. But even still, it's far too small in our opinion. That's why we built the 2.5-acre vacation rotation enclosure. Each of our lions and tigers can enjoy a 2-week vacation in this open air space that has a pond, a fountain, lots of dens, tunnels, platforms, and trees to enjoy. Big cats are solitary by nature, and most of our cats prefer to live alone and vacation alone. We don't force our cats to share space or fight over food. They each have well over 1,200 square feet of space to themselves in their own cat-a-tats. But then, twice a year, they get 2 weeks vacation in this huge space. We move the cats to and from vacation via above-ground tunnels around the sanctuary. The only time there are multiple cats in the cages or on vacation together is if they've been raised together and truly enjoy the company. Anywhere that you see cats living together, they are neutered or spayed to ensure that we do not breed cats for life in cages. Even this huge vacation area is still a cage, and we do not believe that wild cats belong in captivity. We do the best we can for the cats we rescue, but the best thing all of us can do is end the trade in exotic cats by never paying to see or touch cubs.
Okay, so in the audio, we mentioned these above ground enclosures. The above ground above ground tunnel system. I'm sorry, of course all of our enclosures are above ground. It's Florida, that'd be terrible. Now, when it does come to the tunnel system, here's the tunnel, right? So the tunnel starts over here, or it starts at the cat's enclosure, but it goes all the way here, and then we connect the sides together, just so you know, because cat needs to go through it. And then the tunnel system weaves its way around through the vast majority of the sanctuary. A few cats that we can't get this to, but they have massive enclosures anyways. And when it comes to that, it weaves its way all the way around. And when it's time, we simply open up the door on the other side, right? And the cat goes on in to the tunnel system. And sometimes they run right on through. They know what's going on. And then sometimes they'll get smart and just sit there for a little bit and realize, hey, if I sit here, I could go ahead and get fed. And they do. And so it could be a couple minute affair. It could be an all day affair moving the cat on through here because they are very intelligent. They do realize that if I sit here, you're going to grow impatient and you are going to want to feed me. All right, so we are making our way over to the Royal Lioness. And I am looking at comments right now, so if anybody has any questions, please feel free to fire away. Oh, Yolanda's replying to Dawn. Got it. I was like, oh, hi. Daniel, don't worry about them. Just let them do their thing. They'll fizzle out eventually. But here is the other side of the vacation rotation, and you can see how gigantic this thing is. And there's a cat out there right now. I think Kimba's out there. That wasn't Kimba that we saw earlier. By the way, I think that was Max. It was Max. But as far as the enclosure, you can see the grass is nice and long. They love that. They run through it. They enjoy themselves. They have a really good time. So what you're experiencing right now is our normal walking tour that we do on Saturdays. At least I'm doing them on Saturday morning now. And it looks like we may be doing some live on TikTok stuff sometime soon. So I'm going to work on that for next week and see if that works, if it flops on its face. I don't know. I've never used TikTok. Apparently I'm a tech guy, and I just haven't kept up with the kids these days. But I'm going to try to go live on TikTok, so any of you that are on TikTok will be able to get a double header of walking tour at 10 a.m. on TikTok, and then 11 a.m. here with me again on Facebook, and then 12:15 with my beautiful wife Bridget for the Catterday Walkabout on YouTube, which is an awful lot of fun to see. All right, and oh yeah, and a fundraiser for today is our general fundraiser. So that goes to help feed the cats, goes to take care of the sanctuary. So again, if you have a couple extra bucks that kicking around that you want to donate, 100% of your donations go directly to the cats. All right, so 100% of that. And Deb, if you need me to change anything up, or Luana or whoever is moderating, just shoot me a text message, just because I have to hide the comments every so often. You need a golf cart. Bridget and I will use a golf cart a little bit later on today for the 12:15. We might. It's not broiling hot outside today, so maybe we'll walk, maybe we won't. I don't know. And then let me check our time to make sure that we're going to be good. I want to make sure that our moderators get a break. All right. And I know you won't be able to see her because, well, you might be able to. She is way in the back. She is the tan, well, she's right between the trees. So I'm gonna go ahead and play the audio for Nikki Lion, so you can learn about Nikki. Her story is really interesting, actually. Nikita. Play. Andy, turn up your volume.
Nikita was found when she was a year old in a crack house during a drug bust in Tennessee.
She's way in the back.
She was chained to the wall with a short chain on a concrete floor, so she got no exercise and arrived here with huge swellings on her elbows that took months to heal. She was so thin that you could carry her under one arm. In addition to being underfed, she had not had a proper diet, so she had a plethora of nutritional issues to deal with as well. The authorities took her to the Nashville Zoo at Grassmere, but she had been declawed and could not live with the zoo's other lions. Big Cat Rescue agreed to take Nikita in, as well as 3 bobcats that all arrived in 2001. At age 5, she had become a tall, healthy adult lioness, but remained very lanky because she was a picky eater. That changed when our financial support grew to a point where we could afford the expensive ground meat specially designed carnivore diet we now use. Nikita loved it and filled out quickly to the 500-pound lioness you see today. When Nikita was younger, she was extremely playful and loved to roll on her back and grab her paws or try to do somersaults whenever visitors stopped by to talk with her. Now in her senior years, we still occasionally observe a slow roll onto her back for visitors.
And if any of you have watched our Explore cams or our highlight reel, you will see that she does occasionally make an attempt to sit on that ball. But a little bit later, I will, or I won't, but Bridget will work her way back there on our 12:15 walkabout. And you'll get a little bit of a closer look at Nikita. As long as she's in a good mood and we can see her, Bridget will get a little bit closer so you can see Nikita's smiling face. But if she is between two of her play toys, Bridget usually doesn't bother going over. And thank you very much for your donations. We're up to $85 today. You guys are killing it. All right, so do we have any caracals that we can see here? So we're coming around to the caracals here. I don't see our two adorable pumpkin heads. Yeah, maybe we'll see them at the 12:15. All right, so we're gonna make our way on over to Manny, and we'll see if Manny's up. Now it is cooler today, so Manny may not be down in his concrete bunker. And if you're wondering what that is, we put in these awesome enclosures. So I mean, so there's one over there, and there's one over there, and there's one over there, and the cats can go in there, and they tend to stay much cooler than, you know, the outside air. And then usually they're parked in the shade too. So we'll see if we see him over there. 111. Thank you very much for your donations. All right, so Manny's enclosure has since expanded to the point where I actually don't know specifically how large it is. He has tons of bubbles, he's got a lot of space, and that is great for him because he has lots of spaces to hide, and I guarantee you, he is looking at me right now, and I have no idea where he is. Maybe he's out, maybe he's not. Bridget usually is pretty good at finding him, so let's see if we see him this afternoon. You can see our awesome volunteers, our keepers over there, taking care of things. Looks like they might be working on Alethea's space. Bridget in the middle in charge, seems like. Jeff right behind her. New volunteer, I'm not sure what her name is, and I'm not sure what the other new volunteer's name is, but we'll get up to speed on that pretty quick. It looks like Christine's back there. Christina? Yolanda, thank you very much. That's awesome. All right, where is Manny? Well, he's definitely sacked out somewhere. All right. Maybe we'll have a better shot at seeing a flat cat. Doubtful, but maybe. Now, this would be Jinx Leopard. Now, many people don't know this. There is actually no such thing as a Black Panther, right? Other than the movie, right? So we will absolutely credit them with creating Black Panther. But before that, there was no such thing as a Black Panther. What it is, you know, if you take a look at Jinx here, Jinx is actually a black Asian leopard. Now, you can have a black Asian leopard, and a golden Asian leopard born in the same litter. And oh, yeah, he's out. We'll see him. Why, hello. You enjoying this cooler weather? All right, so I'll play the audio for him in a second. I'm waiting for my camera to catch up to see if you have a decent view here. And you do. You should be able to see him. He is right on his platform there. Oh, silly kitty.
Jinx is a male black leopard who was born approximately 1999. He arrived at Big Cat Rescue in August 2015. His owner had received many federal law violations for improper care of the cats without consequence. But when he failed for years to comply with a very basic 2012 Ohio Dangerous Animals law that just required decent caging and registering the animals, the Ohio Department of Agriculture seized the cats and sent Jinx and 3 tigers to us so that they would receive proper care for the rest of their lives. If Jinx is in the sun, you will see that he does have spots. The spots are in the skin, so if Jinx were shaved, you would still see the spots. That may be where we get the expression, a leopard can never change its spots. This gorgeous boy is known to stalk keepers and guests. He locks on his target and is very focused. He can easily hide within plain sight, which has earned him the nickname Flat Cat by many of his keepers. Although he can be quite intense and scary, as he should since he is a leopard, he also has an incredibly silly and playful side. His intelligence shows in every move he makes. Jinx is very smart when it comes to operant conditioning and even tries to train his keepers.
To catch up to see if you have a decent view.
And there is the story of Amazing Jinx. Scrolling through comments here, Daniel, I did not see that, and I'm guessing your space bar is busted. Let's see here. All right, no questions. I'm gonna keep moving along. Lots of hearts for Jinx. Jinx is an adorable, beautiful cat. And what happened to my sunglasses? Oh boy. I've had these sunglasses for years, and today is the day that they are destroyed. It's like the 4th time today I've dropped them on rocks. Okay, so as we're going through, let's see who we find. In addition, anyways, this is Funcation. So Funcation is a massive enclosure that's proportionally sized down for our smaller cats, right? So our smaller cats have slightly smaller enclosures than our bigger cats. That should just be obvious. But when we take a look at Funcation here, Funcation serves the same purpose, right? It's a big open air area that they can just run all over the place. Well, it does have a roof, but because little cats can climb. But they can just run all over the place. They can get up to full speed. They can smell everything else around them. They can run through the tunnels. They can go up the ramps. There's all sorts of really cool stuff out here for them. And they absolutely love it. Thank you very much, Mergem. Made the camera myself. No, just kidding. If Pharaoh is out and about, see what we can do. Yep, so there you go, Funcation from the other side. And you can see it's a really big area. And again, we put the cats in rotation. They come out here, they run around, and they can enjoy themselves. All right, so we'll have small cats like bobcats come in here, and we'll have big cats like Jinx and also Manny come on out here. Obviously not at the same time. They will be go through rotation, but it allows them to have just more space and enjoy themselves, and they absolutely love it. And some of them have proved it by not wanting to go back into the tunnel and go home. But when they go out here, it's a great time for us to get into their regular home, their enclosure, clean it up, mow the lawn, plant some grass seed, you know, make sure that it's nice and clean for them. Also, it gives us the opportunity to go ahead and put down new sand for their beds and pressure wash some stuff, and you know, really just make sure that they're taken care of. Let's see. And again, our fundraiser for today is just our general fundraiser. It goes to help buy food for these guys, goes to help medical supplies. It helps with pretty much everything that goes to helping these cats. And 100% of the donations go directly to the cats. So we are not for profit here. So this is, you know, 100% nonprofit. We're 501c3. And you know, we post a lot of the financial stuff online, so you can see exactly what is going on here at Big Cat Rescue. All right, we make sure that we are on top of the top.
501c3.
Oops, sorry. You turned up the volume on my phone. Now, it is after feeding time, so we're not seeing a lot of the servals out. Many of them are actually sleeping right now. All right, somebody's gonna have to bring me up to speed. There are a lot of people not using spaces. Why? Is it a trend? Is it a thing? I'm just trying to get up to speed here. Is it you're letting the moderator know that you're not spamming us? What's going on with that? All right, so Flint and Nabisco. Oh yeah, look at the boys are right under there. How's it going?
Hello.
Good. Okay, so Flint and Nabisco are right underneath. It's a Facebook glitch. Okay, all right, I could go with that. I just didn't know if it was like a new thing, like everybody's saying they're not using it due to whatever's going on in the world. All right, so right underneath the ramp there, you're gonna see Nabisco and Flint just kind of kicking it. So I'm gonna play Flint's audio and then we'll get to Nabisco. Maybe, apparently my app isn't updated, so no Flint in here. Is Nabisco in here? Yeah, Nabisco's in here. Here is Nabisco's audio.
The male bobcat Nabisco is the youngest and smallest of the 6 cats rescued from Spirit of the Hills, a sanctuary in South Dakota that had their USDA license revoked due to poor conditions there. Nabisco was born in May 2016 and arrived at Big Cat Rescue in October of the same year when he was only about 6 months old. In late June 2016, lightning started a forest fire a few miles from Spirit of the Hills. The fire raged for 10 days, burning over 2,500 acres. Nabisco was found during the fire and brought to Spirit of the Hills. He was introduced to our Florida bobcat, Mrs. Claus, in December 2016, and they quickly became best of friends.
And there is your audio on Nabisco. And of course, on the 12:15 walkabout, we will have the closer camera working for us. Lots of hearts, man. And just in that, your donations jumped $100. You guys are just awesome. We very much love the support that you've all provided for these cats. You know, obviously the reason is that when it comes down to your support, without your support, well, we wouldn't be here. So it looks like we are in luck. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get a slightly better view. This side. Nope. We're gonna go over here. So it looks like we are in luck. We can see Pharaoh, and Pharaoh is, well, he's that white cat right there.
Pharaoh is a male white serval born April 22nd, 1999. Pharaoh's coat is snow white and his spots are a silvery gray. Pharaoh has 2 dark yellow spots and 1 black spot on his shoulder and hind leg. Pharaoh is very timid and only likes a few people. He is, however, always curious about passers-by. Pharaoh participates in the operant conditioning program in hopes that it will encourage him to trust more of his keepers. He is doing very well in the program and quickly learns to keep a lookout for trainers as they head out in the morning. If he is passed by, he will call out in his loud serval cry as if to say, "What about me?" Pharaoh always puts a smile on keepers' faces with his silly antics. He will burst through the high grasses of his enclosure to surprise keepers cleaning his cat-a-tat, and then quickly hop back into the grass before tearing around the corner and leaping on top of his cave den. Pharaoh also loves water, and will spend hours swatting at a stream of water shot out of the hose.
All right, and there's our audio on Pharaoh.
Pharaoh, and,
whoa, sorry. Okay, so gotta rush it along here because our 12:15 is gonna fire up. And I want to make sure Deb gets a break, and I also want to make sure that I can get Keeper Bridget squared away before that walkabout has to start. But as you can see, it is a gorgeous day here. The flowers are in bloom. It's I have to say it's high 70s, low 80s today. It really depends on where you're standing. And let's see if we see anybody else along the way here. Pharaoh is very handsome. Do we see Tutters? I don't see Tutters. All right. A few of our interns. Hey guys. Hello. But I do see a Perfection, and she is way up top up there. So we'll see her at 12:15 on YouTube. Now, I keep saying this 12:15. My wife and I do a Catterday walkabout at 12:15 on YouTube. And I'm sorry, I'm talking with my hands in front of the camera. It's a habit. But after this, just head over there at 12:15 and East Coast time, or Big Cat time. And so that'll be in like 20-ish minutes. And you can watch us as we go along. It's a lot of fun. We do have an enjoyable time there. But let me tell you about something else. And you know what? I'm going to let the audio do the speaking here for us. So for any of you that don't know, we've been working on this thing called the Big Cat Public Safety Act for quite some time. So I'm going to fire up the audio for this, and you can hear what's going on. Now, if you all could, just pull out your cell phones right now. And you could start by texting CATS to 52886. So let's see here. Well, one would think that that would be at the end, and it is. And here we go.
When I was just a tiny baby,
that is not the audio I thought it was.
Parents.
That is the cub petting audio, and there's the proper audio. Thank you. Here we go.
Today you've heard story after story of these magnificent animals being abused or abandoned. They're estimated to be 10 to 20,000 big cats, mostly living in deplorable conditions in private hands. These animals belong in the wild, not in backyards and roadside zoos. The laws that claim to ensure a humane existence for these animals just don't work. As one example, the USDA rule for the minimum space for a tiger cage is what you see on the sign on this circus wagon. Make normal postural and social adjustments with adequate freedom of movement. With this rule language, the owner of a tiger doesn't know how big a cage has to be. And an inspector, many of whom are veterinarians and really do care about the animals, doesn't know when to cite someone for too small a cage. So almost no one ever gets cited, and tigers spend their entire lives in tiny, concrete-floored prison cells. Florida does specify how big the cage has
It's
to
about
be.
this size. 2 parking spots. Oh, and of course the...
And as one of the more generous state laws. In Florida, you can keep 2 500-pound tigers in a 10 by 24-foot space, like this memorial plaque area, slightly bigger than a parking spot on a concrete slab. This would be like keeping your domestic cat in a 3-foot-long dog carrier for their entire life.
Terrible.
The only way to stop this abuse is a federal ban on private ownership. It's not often in our daily lives that we get to do something that really makes a difference, but you can today. We have a federal bill that would end private ownership and the abuse of cub petting. The bill will pass if members of Congress hear that enough of their constituents care about this issue. We make it very easy to do. If you are a United States resident and you have a cell phone, please take it out now. To show your support for the Big Cat Public Safety Act and to urge your elected officials to do the same, text CATS to 52886. Message and data rates may apply. You'll receive an automated response containing a link to our campaign page. Click the link and follow the prompts to make the call of the wild today before you leave the sanctuary. Our goal is to get this bill passed before the next plaque marking the death of one of the mistreated cats you met today goes up on this memorial wall. If you are willing, this call is truly the most meaningful thing you can do to help us stop the mistreatment of these amazing animals that deserve so much better. Last, thank you very much for coming to visit us today and for supporting the cats with your tour fee, gift shop purchases, donations, and calls to Congress. Does anyone have any questions before we go inside?
All right, everybody, that is our tour for today. And here's the deal. If you could, please open up another tab on your computer, or if you can remember, go over to dailybigcat.com. That'll take you right to our YouTube channel. So dailybigcat.com in just a moment. And Bridget and I will be there to see you in approximately 10 minutes. And Deb, I'm sorry we went a little long. I hope that's enough time to let your dogs out, get a cup of coffee. But head on over there and just subscribe to that channel, and we will see you in just a little bit over at dailybigcat.com. And thank you all very much for your donations. $231 today. That'll help these guys out a lot. So anyways, I will see you guys in a little bit.